Welcome everyone, Costini here with Skarbrand Exiled on Legendary difficulty. Let's go over the big red lizard himself and play his campaign to achieve a significant level of success. The difficulty here is Legendary, very hard, Iron Man turned off. Vast majority of people play without Iron Man, NCA did add that ability. And we get AI stats modifier, which I will set to neutral. That's how most people play based on the poll that I did. Now, what we want to do in this campaign, like in every campaign, is start getting some agreements over here. So get the non-aggression pact with Queek. Don't touch the red fangs. Don't do anything else. We are going to be doing a lot in this one first turn. And it is that first turn that is going to determine the success, or really failure, of your campaign. We want to use the Skull Throne on turn 1, because we want to summon, we want to get the army ability of Summon from Beyond. We also want the campaign movement range plus 15% after raising a settlement. But really, it's that ability that we are going to be using the most, because obviously we don't have enough troops for all the battles we're going to fight. My goal in this turn is to go from here all the way to Galbraith, and then start marching over here to Stormhenge, though there are other options available. This is not the only one, it is the one I have chosen to go with. For a number of reasons. One of the reasons is that there is a landmark, the Ancient Boneyard, that we are going to want to claim over here in this particular campaign. So now we have that army ability, let's go for this. Now, I would recommend not abusing Toggle Fog of War, but at the same time, it is certainly a useful mod to be able to plan your campaign. Else, if you're not using it, just basically run around the campaign map, memorize where all the settlements is, because that's going to be important. Now, there is no auto-resolve mod that I'm using. And even if I was using it, in a Skarbrand campaign, you absolutely want to fight the battles manually, because you will always get a better result, even with mods, on any difficulty, by fighting things manually as opposed to auto-resolving them. So over here we have some Savage Orcs, we do have some Savage Orc Archer Boys, and some Boar Boys. This is not really going to be a problem of battle, and we have 2 uses to summon 1 Bloodletter unit. Bloodletters tend to do poorly in auto-resolve, that's one of the reasons you want to fight things manually. But they are actually quite good in battle. Thing is, Casters of Khorne are good in battle, they have Frenzy, and crucially, they also do well in auto-resolve. But again, in this particular kind of campaign, you do want to fight things manually. And get used to the idea of quick saving a lot. So let's go into this battle and show you how to win it with minimal casualties on this difficulty. Although, it should be pointed out, you might benefit from actually setting AI stats modifier higher in a Skarbrand campaign in certain situations. It doesn't change anything in terms of AI campaign behavior if you modify it, like it's just the stats. Anyway, let's go into it. Here on the battlefield, we want to take this particular position. The map will always be the same in this particular battle. We want to put the Bloodletters behind. We want... Actually, one of the things we want to do is disable guard mode, because we're certainly not going to be using guard mode in a Skarbrand campaign. Make sure you do disable guard mode. The reason you want to do so in a Skarbrand campaign is because your units are fast, they can outrun a lot of the enemies, and using guard mode is going to create a lot of its own issues. Now, what we want to do is wait for the Summon from Beyond ability to be ready. Now, we gotta be a bit careful here, because they do have the capability of doing quite a bit of damage to us. So we want to be careful, and our goal is to do a significant level of damage to them, basically just using Skarbrand. How do we do so, you might ask? Well, ain't that a lovely picture? See, this is how. Basically, if you order Skarbrand to charge a unit, in particular, those archers are dead, they are the only unit that could have caused an issue, and those Bloodletters are going to do a lot of damage. But basically, here's the thing about Skarbrand that you need to know. if you order him to charge through a unit, into one that's behind that unit, dependent on how the situation is, I'm just gonna have to wait for them to reposition. Okay. He will, dependent on the distance, like once he starts his charge animation, he will start really doing a lot of damage to all the units he passes through and the units that he is hitting, because obviously he's going to do quite a lot. Skarbrand isn't someone you want to have in a battle standing and fighting. Basically, that's actually quite the worst way to use him. You want to have him do a lot of this. And look at the fact that, consider the fact that he's basically taking no freaking damage in the process. This is one of the reasons you might understand why I am, let's just say, not particularly fond of the situation. Now, here's another thing why this works especially well, in particular on higher battle difficulties. The AI scripting is designed to not engage your armies. Okay, let's just go for that. To not engage your armies. To not engage a single entity like Skarbrand in this kind of situation. So you can see that basically over here, I am literally just winning this entire freaking battle with absolutely almost no damage to him, because I'm constantly charging, so they're not actually hitting me. And because the way I is scripted in such a way, okay, that's the wall. Okay. Okay, just stop. Because the AI is scripted in such a way to not attack me, and they've taken a lot of damage, they will wait for the rest of my army to show up. So now we just kill another unit, we start getting closer, let's start, say, doing... You want to keep those warhounds alive, by the way, they're actually going to be instrumental in the next stage. Okay. Alright, so that's a bit too much damage. Let's send in the Warriors of Chaos. Over here, Bloodletters coming in, Dogs coming in. Now is the time to engage with them. They are not going to be able to stop us at this point. Now, of course, there is always that inherent risk. But still, that is the game. A bit of damage on those Bloodletters. Could have done a bit more in that situation. This is how every battle will play out. Different ways, some range damage, all that kind of stuff. But essentially, the fundamentals of each battle do not change. And by the way, Skarbrand is freaking fucking fast as well. Okay. Now, after that battle, I went for the settlement over here, but I couldn't quite reach it. So I used Eternal War to summon a pack of Bloodletters for me to defeat. Because every time you fight and win a battle, you gain movement range. I will cover the skills I went for in just a second. Now, it is important in this battle that you not only win it, the demons will obviously dissipate, but what is very important is you ensure that all of these garrison units, because they are the garrison from that middle settlement, you need to ensure every single one of them is wiped out. If they're not, your campaign can go fine, but this is the crucial aspect. I recommend quick saving until you get it done. The one unit that's essential here are actually the Chaos Warhounds, because they're the fastest unit you have, though all of your units have a decent level of speed, especially Mr. Skarbrand over here. But let's go into this particular battle. If you take casualties here, it actually doesn't matter as much, and in point of fact, there is an argument to be made in favor of actually taking more casualties. Now, I went with the casualty replenishment possibility after the first battle. I got 8%, so because I wanted to recover the damage that Skarbrand took Here, we're going to take more damage on our army, and I'm fine with that. Okay. In this battle, we'll just take our army and march directly against the Bloodletters. And yes, we will take some damage from that. Though, surprisingly, they will collapse pretty damn quickly because we're freaking Skarbrand and they will not stand a chance. Now, it's important to just keep these hounds alive and as intact as possible. The reason you want to keep them intact and keep your army back, like you can obviously do some cycle charging over here. But geez, talk about a roller coaster. Okay. Okay. Let's just summon that, get our Reaper, and surround them. Oh, they'll dissipate very quickly. That's not, like, these guys are not particularly powerful. And besides, we can always charge for them. Okay, get the dogs, get these guys. As you can see, they're just collapsing. And just 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, the entire enemy army is gone. Okay, let's get some, well, except this guy. But we're freaking Skarbrand, so we don't give a shit. Okay, that's 1. Now, do try and not take too much damage on Skarbrand, because that might be a bit of a problem. The tricky part is the next one. Spread your units as much as possible. Both your Bloodletters and, like, obviously Skarbrand's gonna go on a bit of a hunting trip. We're just gonna send these guys over here to deal with all of those, and we're going to start marching against all of these guys at the time. Engage them, and Skarbrand is gonna come in from the side. We want our dogs to chase down the Savage Orc archers. And to send our hero, okay, increase that melee attack. So keep chasing them down. Don't show any mercy. Like, your guys start chasing an enemy down, you don't stop, basically. Okay. Now, what you want to do here is you want to ensure that as many of them as you can are chased down and completely annihilated. Like, by completely annihilated, you need to ensure they're down to basically like a dozen at most. Like 20 will survive. So you need, that's the reason you gotta protect your dog. So that one is a problem. These guys not so much. Skarbrand and the hero are just doing just fine there. And yeah, those Khorne dogs are something. Okay. The more you kill, the better off you'll be. It's just literally these guys, so the battle is over. Okay, and as you can see, we have eliminated all of this. In this case, we're actually going to gain the money, and we've taken out all of these troops. What you want to do here, beyond getting the skills like Inspiring Presence, Brutal Charge, make sure you get the increased mobility and campaign movement range for Skarbrand and your hero after your initial battle. I lost some of the footage, unfortunately. And then move to Force March as close as you can get over here. This is the reason why you want to eliminate that garrison completely. Because if you don't eliminate the garrison, you will not be able to do this. Because you will not be able to run around the circle of influence, the red circle of influence that this element does have. So now we just want to go with the skulls. You can summon a blood host, undeniably so, but there's more benefits in doing things like this. This is where you can lose a lot of time. Now, as long as you have, I think, like a sliver of movement range, you can switch between the two stances. Now, you can declare war on these guys, but we can also get a bit of money from Malagor, who, by the way, is in range to attack this particular settlement. So we do want to go for that. And now we want to fight this battle. Now, here's something I want to tell you. Malagor is going to come with his reinforcements from behind this army, or right here, basically. You can move, however, where he's going to spawn with his reinforcements. And what you want to do is have him spawn... Well, sorry, he will spawn here. What you want to have him do is spawn behind you. That way, he will deploy his army properly, and if he comes behind them, the AI will not know how to react to that. And you basically want Malagor to take damage here. You also may want to improve the AI stats modifier to maximum, because this will really benefit the undead, though that is certainly something you can consider a cheese. And then you go fight the battle, or you let Malagor fight the battle. You do not get involved in this. You want him to take as much damage as feasible over here. Here on the battlefield, I do want Malagor to come in from the back, even if it's going to take him a while. I'm not doing it for his sake or my sake. He would actually do quite well if he attacked from behind him. But I do want the undead to actually do some damage to him, because I am going to certainly destroy him after this. So just basically wait for Malagor to win the battle, hopefully take a decent amount of casualties, in particular the Manticore, the Harpies, etc. So I fought the battle. Malagor did not take quite as much damage as I wanted to, but we will summon a Blood Host anyway. Alright, we have done this, and now we just have enough movement range to take the settlement right here. What we want to get is Slaughter for Skarbrand, and we will want to sack Galbraz over here, or raise it. The decision of whether or not you're sacking it, or raising it, will boil down to this question. What do you want to do after this point? Because you got two principal choices. You can go west and south, or you can go north and deal with Warzak. Those are the principal decisions. In this case, I will sack it. And then we will move right here, put in camp stance, and yes, with our resolve mods enabled now. Get Slaughter, increase mobility. Now going south does confer some advantages to you, but still. Oh, and by the way, I'm just gonna turn this off. So let's end this turn. We're gonna raise it, raise another Blood Host, and then deal with Malagor over here. Though, honestly, this army can deal with it like the Chaos Spawn. You can get Bloodthirsters here as well. Bam. Two Blood Hosts here will deal with the Greenskins, the Vampires. All that might remain over here. Now keep in mind, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to go to the Empire. Like, if I wasn't interested in going in the Empire, for the Nemesis Crown, which is the real prize over here, I would not do this. But the Nemesis Crown is worth it. Also, Nehekara has some questionable terrain features. Then that happens. That's good. One Greenskin army eliminated. Another Blessed Host summoned. Malagor obliterated. Okay. So let's see over here. You don't want to go in more than kill, because you want to save up for the special skill line over here. Alright, let's just slaughter with him. So he may not use the underway, dependent on your decision right there. So, okay, Malagor is going to start recruiting. Can we? No. Alright. We're just gonna move that there. We're gonna get rid of this building because we don't need that particular recruitment. And we're gonna move Skarbrand here. We want to get to that port. The problem, as you might imagine it, like, it's worth losing a couple of turns just to get to Warzak, because you can destroy Warzak in a single turn. It's not really an issue. Okay, some money lost, but that's fine. And okay, let's see what we can do. All right.
I left Clore of Northwell. You right ear on corpse. What part of land?
Good.
Right.
Don't go for that. You may live to regret it. With respect to Arcos. Or, honestly, maybe not. Like, in this case, like you kind of want to avoid the mountains as Skarbrand. The reason is, like, just plain and simple. Okay, so next turn, we should be able to start getting our cultists. Although, maybe bloodletters would be a mistake. Let's get some... You know, Marauders of Khorne. Regular ones, not dual weapons, just regular ones. The reason for Marauders is, like, yeah, bloodletters are obviously the better unit, but they also have the worse honor result. The reason for the Chaos Furies is I want a unit that can chase down enemies. Like, that's the principal reason there. Now, Malagor is going to start recruiting over there, but we can put him under siege, basically. And if he pursues us, then, well, we will destroy him. Honestly, ooh, look at you. Aren't you freaking special? Little green-skinned big boy. Okay, so we can do this. Just been waiting for that. Alright, so Skarbrand goes here, deals with this, summons another blood host. We have a decent level of skulls. Okay, put him in that. Get all of this stuff. Okay, so that's an easy win, not a problem. We can take it. And yes, we will take it. Alright, over here we can reduce leadership and get the cultists. None of these guys are particularly great, but they will do their job. Oh, don't worry, we'll declare war on the fucking Orcers as well. Yes, is it worth it to do so? Or is it worth it to obliterate them? Maybe it would be worth it to do both. Okay, here we do want to save our skills. Money is potentially, though not necessarily, becoming an issue. They would give us 4,700, and we could always... Yeah, we can go deal with the vampires. March north. Yeah, ignore the greenskins. Just take their money right now. Because, like, those blood hosts are not really the important bit. Get slaughter. So we're turn free. Remember that particular point. Now, when I encounter Warzag, I'll showcase that particular battle to understand just how freaking ridiculous Skarbrand is. Oof. Warzag, boy, baby, fun. You really, really just want to die. The problem is it's actually not beneficial for me to kill him right now, because if I do go and kill him, I mean, I'll get his defeat tray. It's pros and cons. Like, obviously, there's a huge benefit in killing him right now, because that defeat rate is sweet. But honestly, Skarbrand needs no freaking defeat rate. On the flip side, I do have to wait here anyway, so might as well go for it, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, it's that kind of situation. Although, there is another option over here, which is this sweet, sweet, sweet blood host. The problem is, let me showcase this, because... Okay, so I was kind of hoping this would be the case, because if there was no army here, like, this is the problem. Like, if there's no army, I know greenskins have a tendency of doing so, but if there's no army and I declare war on him, I can't just move on the settlement. I mean, I can. I have enough movement range, but it's like the problem, can I reach Ekrund, turn around, you know, deal with the Dragonhorn mines, go deal with Ekrund, and then go to the Bitterstone mine. Because my goal with Skarbrand is obviously not just to fight one battle one turn, it's to fight 10 freaking battles a turn. Okay, so where's that guys here? Well, I guess the best thing I can do right now is just fight this fucking battle. Don't worry, we'll get Skarbrand in the mix over here, and we will fight this. Let's just check it. Because, like, you need to see how ridiculous he is and how easily you can obliterate all of this. Like, if you're thinking any of my troops here are going to do any kind of level of fighting, you will be mistaken, my friend. Welcome to the battlefield, gentlemen. It's been 17 minutes and half the enemy army is dead. And somehow dancing in a weird ritual. Like, yeah, we broke the AI. I was just kind of waiting for the AI to redeploy because I've taken too much damage already from their weird dancing. Like, seriously, I could have taken so much less damage and the battle would have been over already if not for this weird dance that they've been doing. Which, by the way, they're still doing. Okay. So what happens here is like Skarbrand is just plowing ahead through. They lost, like, I think Warzag has literally lost half his units. Just because Skarbrand... Okay, I did summon the Bloodletters earlier through the ability. But, how to say this? It's like, you've got an entire army of greenskins over here. Okay, let's not do that. You don't actually want to stop. Ever. Like, you don't want the final point of the charge to connect. That's a failure, like, there. Now, the problem is, like, the AI is so utterly broken. Like, obviously, if you do get the charge connected... Am I worried Skarbrand is gonna bite it? Nah, not really. I'm just more so worried he's taking a bit too much damage, and it's like future battles will be a problem. Oh, but that collision damage, it is sweet, isn't it? The problem is, if only I could just not get stuck in the massive greenskins. They're not even trying to tar pit me. Like, that's the thing, by the way. Like, if you're thinking, oh, they're trying to tar pit you, that's the thing. No! That's the stupid part. They're not. Like, if they were, I would applaud the AI for actually trying to be reasonable for once, but no, they're actually not. They're not trying to tar pit me. They're just, like, running around because they don't know what the hell to do. Like, they're not attacking me. They're not focusing on me or anything like that. They're just like broken. Skarbrand battle 1-1. You think Skarbrand has an army? Or Khorne has an army? No, the army that you see there is there for 2 reasons. Balance of power, and someone needs to record this. Someone needs to record this for posterity. Sweet lord, this is something. And by the way, this is a lot harder just because the AI is broken. Just because the AI being broken like this is actually making it a lot harder. Oh no, he might die. What a mess. Alright, time to get the massive army to actually do something. Imagine having an army in the campaign actually doing something. Jeez, what is this, a game? Oh, look, they're actually casting spells. Oh, fucking hilarious. Okay, we're just not even gonna deploy these guys. Because why would we, right? Alright, now that somehow he might make some damn sense over there, let's just get these guys over here. And, yeah, we're not done. Cute. Alright, that's enough. You've got done enough, Skarbrand. You've only got like 4k kills or some bullshit like that. No, seriously, he probably does have like a lot of kills anyway. And the hilarious part is like, you know, me running around like that, it's like just an optional thing because, well, we can just run around when the armies are engaged, actually. But it obviously helps, right? Because, like, it will, yep, that's it. That is essentially it, gentlemen. Alright, let's get all of that. And that is the bow. Let's see that is green. Tag is dead and his defeat rate is ours. Goodbye, my friend. Okay, and let's take a look, gander over here. I know, I took a bit too much damage. Well, I took a lot of damage with Skarbrand, but that's fine. So let's see if we can get... You guys are suicidal, but thank you. No, seriously, freaking thank you. I'll use the replenishment. Okay. Yeah, let's get the skulls. Hey. Wonder. No, I think I'm not gonna risk it. Because it can't go, ooh, I lost some units. Big fucking deal. The dogs had their role early. Very early. But now, no longer. Is that Khorne worth taking? Not really. here. Maybe I do want to put one of these armies here. We got a good amount of money though. I'm just gonna keep trying to... I'm not sure I'll catch up to Skarbrand though, but hey, worth trying, I guess. It's like, hey, Papa Skarbrand, wait for me. We will not wait for anyone. Okay. So, if the Feast Masters present an opportunity that I can use, Skarbrand will replenish fairly quickly, and once we get regeneration on this bastard, it's like, GG. Okay. Though I might lose some turns. Look, as long as I can get to the Barak Var situation by the time my Ritual Skulls ends, I'm fine. Like, as long as I can get in the Empire. Ooh, the moment you get in the Empire, like, I'm fine recruiting, spending some time recruiting and all that. No. But we need to get in the Empire. That is our priority here. Like, everything else is freaking secondary and irrelevant. So, we got some ogres. I do actually hope they stand fight. So, like, in this particular campaign, ignore that. How many turns? Okay, so we got one more freaking turn over here. Yeah, that's the annoying part of what we did, is like we kind of screwed ourselves over a bit there. I'm not sure if I can do this. Let's try this. I'll take it. Like, literally, I will take it. But yeah, defeating Warzag there was not worth it in any freaking way. Where's that port? So it's there. What level am I? 13. Hey. Like, seriously, it's like just, yeah, this is the reason you want to fight the battles manually in this campaign, because there's a problem.
Bloodshed! Khorne's edict! Court's herald! The harbinger of doom.
I mean, it just makes sense for me, from my perspective, even if I do end up paying a price for this, to go for the Empire. Nemesis Crown is there, and it's like, it's better to think a bit about the long term than just think about, like, burn, smash, kill, all that. But that's where I stand on that. So let's get that settlement under our control. I mean, yeah, it is a shame. Don't get me wrong, but we did manage to pick up all of this, so kind of worked out. So more of these. We are losing some money, but again, it's not really a big issue right now. Okay. Once we take this particular settlement, and we will. Let's see over here. Once we take that particular settlement, and we will, things will get a lot better. Because basically, like with Morkheim, we can sell that to Queek and maybe make him a vassal. I've done the Nehekara run, mind you. There's a lot of battles in a single freaking turn, I admit, but it's just like, you gotta ask yourself, like, what is the long-term tangible benefit of doing that particular run? And the answer is, well, the Nemesis Crown is really fucking powerful. Do you know why it is so freaking powerful? It gives you a lot more movement range, and because you're freaking Skarbrand, you can pump it up even harder. So basically, while it is better to go for Nehekara because you can do a lot more stuff early on. In fact, that was the original plan over here. While it is better from a lot of ways, don't take that the wrong way, it does have that specific downside. So just bear in mind. Okay, so these guys, they're just going to take that. He's going to take that settlement first. We're going to summon another blood host over here. Why do we summon another blood host? Well, because we don't need the skulls, and because... Okay. There we go. And that respect. Let's see. And because we do need the replenishment. Let's get that upkeep benefit.
What? Yes.
Scabby Eye, Red Fangs, let's do that. No. I am not willing.
Who calls? It is I left Chloref Northwell.
If I accept that, it will make it harder to vassalize him. So I think I'm not willing to just accept that yet. Although, if we look at him... Yeah, no, he can't accept it until we take a settlement. Problem is, what to do? What to do now? We'll accept that. I just have no other choice right now. I just need some money to last one turn. Okay, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of all these units. Yeah, these guys too. I just can't afford it. So, like, I'll get Galbraith back under my control. And then dismiss this too. Everyone is in a camp stand, so even though I will be going bankrupt, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Well, I won't be going bankrupt, it's just like I'll be on the verge of it. Hopefully they fix it. Next patch. So, yeah, there's, as I said, like, there is the Nehekara run that you can do. Warzak does have that defeat tree. I personally don't give a damn about that. Like, if you think you need that defeat tree for Skarbrand, no, you do not. Like, I've got a regeneration. His weapon is important, mind you, and his quest battle is annoying. I don't want to fight that quest battle, not because it's difficult, it's not, it's just tedious as hell, like, lots of high-level shit. Because apparently, anyway, let's see what happens here. So, these two armies should be able to deal with all of that. Okay, so now we can play around this. Ooh, look, it's an entire freaking army of guys. Do I need that money? Kind of. Yeah, I would say so, but... Shit. Well, that was pointless. Gotta tell you that much. Alright. Yeah, I know, auto-resolve bullshit. Although, ambushing Skarbrand is a dumb idea, because, like, even if they literally won that one, let's assume they would have. It's like, okay, you ambushed a bunch of bloodletters. How do you think that's gonna go down for you? I'll tell you how. Not particularly fucking great. That's the reality of that situation. And that's some money. And even if they had literally won, okay, there's a second army, you know? Okay, so we can get this. And we dismiss this one.
Slaughter! This honors the blood god. Blood? All who falter will die. Replenish our brutal energies. Devoted
all right. Get that one. I have enough money to get rid of this trash heap, and yes, I do consider that a trash heap. 2 turns. Yep. Oh, sorry. And okay, they've served their purpose there. I don't need to care about that anymore. I mean, it was useful early on. It would have certainly been useful in Camry. As for his quest bell, yeah, I'm not particularly interested in running around like a headless chicken in that shit either. Though you can. I mean, you got regeneration. Like, just... Like, it is a bit annoying, but you do need to defeat the other units before you deal with the Bloodthirsters and the Greater Demon of Nurgle and all that. And the other resolve is certainly going to be against you in that particular situation. Mods or not. Oh, look, we got a Skaven. I kind of expected, or hoped, I guess hoped would be a better way of putting it. I was kind of hoping that would happen. Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Let's get that to a higher level. I know. Where did he go to? I don't know. Can we win that? No. Do I care to? Not really. They've served their purpose. Treat them as this disposable trash. As long as Skarbrand keeps moving, that's all that matters really here.
Not a chance. It's bad news. I'll poke it.
Get the peace agreement.
Chosen. Yes.
Well, all of them.
I'm a schemer.
Alright, once that's over. Good. Well, thanks, Baragvar. It's like you just were useful in killing yourself. The Empire awaits. Is my cultist even gonna catch up to Skarbrand? It is a hilarious idea to think about that. He may not. He actually may not. It's like, wait for me, Daddy. No. That is an annoying one when that happens. That's the reason I hate going for mountains and why I didn't go. Why I wouldn't recommend going for mountains. Because that shit does happen. Ah, the great lands of the Empire. Well, that didn't work out. It's an unfortunate event when something like that does happen. Alright, what do we want here? Kill Endless Fury?
All the better to spill blood.
Nope, ignore that. Ignore that. Who knows, maybe we'll even give our cultists some time. Maybe we can even find the Nemesis Crown. I mean, I don't know, I don't care. It's like my entire thing. Ooh, Scrag. How fortunate. Would he win? Doesn't matter. Maybe. The dwarves are gonna win for certain. But, you know, even if Scrag did win that battle, there's another army right next to that. So, good luck to him, I suppose. Varenka Hills are gonna go down. Like, I don't care about the Blood Host situation here, though I would like to keep them alive. Like, just, yeah. Like, really, like, the blood hosts are irrelevant. Like, what do they add? It's like, they add some growth. So it's like, oh, but Scrag can defeat you. It's like, okay. So who gives a shit? Whether or not Scrag wins or loses against me in that situation, it's irrelevant. It's not going to dictate my campaign course. The blood hosts are not what you depend to win this campaign, I can tell you that much. Oh, wow. You guys are really going for it, aren't you? Well, we get the Bloodstone, that's something. You might ask, well, are we gonna do the quest battle cost then? Maybe? Once I don't have anything, literally anything else to fight? Maybe. If they're in Varenka Hills, they're not. Ah, fuck. Okay, let's move that there. Yeah, these two. Oh, that does hurt. Okay, whatever. Serve their purpose. Let's not be bullshitting around here. How many turns until? 2 turns. Okay, actually forget the shit that I just said. That's like that many cow spawn. Yeah, that's a lucky one. So yeah, we're gonna use that. Like, Bloodlet army wouldn't. A cow spawn army? Yeah. They would. Hello there. Goodbye. Money? Who gives a shit? I don't even care about the greenskins. I have looked at the lands of the Empire in the eye, and I have decided that they shall not exist anymore. Several turns later, and, well, the Empire, Sylvania, Kislev, they've all effectively ceased to exist. I mean, Erengrad and Prague are still holding firm, but Kislev is gone. And besides, Erengrad, I'm pretty damn certain that Kastaltin doesn't have necessarily a lot to live, if I'm judging anything based on his faction strength. There are a lot of blood hosts, though honestly the reason I've been summoning so many is not because I need them, is because, well, I don't need skulls, and getting casualty replenishment is at least something. Even if you do take minimal losses. I did record a lot of footage, but there was no point in sharing that footage because it was the same damn thing over and over again. Either I resolved settlement battles or every battle with AR mods, or I fought them manually and just used Skarbrand as the lawnmower. I could have done better in this campaign, but the last thing, but I'll talk about that in just a moment after I do this particular quest battle to achieve his short campaign victory condition. It says heroic victory. But yeah, again, with mods, this battle can be a bit tricky, and I firmly recommend get throwing regiments renown before doing so. The way I was able to recruit them is I was in a province which I had wrecked. I had the blood host take 1 settlement, and while Skarbrand kept moving, I just recruited regiments renown. Took a while to get the cultist of Khorne in the army, though. So let's just go over in this battle. Turn 17. The campaign is over, short campaign victory condition accomplished, having done the quest battle, and long campaign victory condition accomplished with the exception of destroying Nakari, which will happen in 10-20 turns at most, even if I don't go over there in Ulf-1. This is really a case of, don't make me come over there because you're not going to like it if I do have to come over there to Ulf-1. Essentially, it comes down to Alariel, Tyrion, and Elfarion just sipping tea and enjoying their time with multiple stacks of forces, like 3 stacks of troops, every single one of them. Once they do get going, Nakari is going to have a really, really bad day. Now, could I have done this campaign faster? Absolutely. Absolutely. If I hadn't spent a lot of turns going around the entire Empire trying to find the Nemesis Crown, which I didn't, I'm pretty sure it didn't even spawn. I certainly didn't see the problem, though I could have missed it because I had a lot of things dealing with, but it might be a Wrecker's Point or Black Pit if indeed it had spawned, because those are the only areas I haven't gone in this campaign in the Empire. I've searched the entire thing, like everything has been purged in the Empire. But let us consider the aspect of Skarbrand. This is not my first rodeo with him. In fact, it's probably not even going to be my last. Let's consider pros and cons of this particular campaign. Is it fun? Well, that is always going to be a subjective argument. What I will say, however, is that if you're interested in a playstyle where you can have a legendary lord that on his own he can solo virtually every early game army that you encounter in the game, with the most difficult battle being the quest battle. Honestly, you build an army for Skarbrand not to deal with any opponent you might deal with. You only get the Blood Reaper for the campaign movement range, and everything else is there for the quest battle. Genuinely so. Everything else Skarbrand can and does solo. Or even if he can solo it, he can certainly diminish them to such an extent that even a handful of units can win a battle. How extreme is this? Well, let me just put it like this. I have won battles playing as Skarbrand in other campaigns where I had basically been reduced due to the auto resolve, even with the auto resolve mods. I had basically been reduced to like 2 units of Chaos Warriors in the army, and I was going up against full entire sacks. And I still won. Relatively easily at that. Depends on what you do and how many battles you're willing to fight manually. The downside of this is that essentially in this campaign, the vast majority of battles you should fight manually. Even with auto-resolve mods. Even if you use auto-resolve mods and lower the battle difficulty to easy, in order to get the best auto-resolve outcome possible, it is still best to fight as many battles manually. Not just with Skarbrand, but also with your bullet hosts. In battle, Skarbrand is fairly durable and competent in battle. On the campaign, however, his main weakness, and the main weakness of Khorne, is basically a glass cannon faction. The reason I say that is that while the power certainly exists, and you have the ability of moving from settlement to settlement to settlement, it is the kind of playstyle that is inherently risky. If you can win with Skarbrand in every battle, no problem. But if you encounter something that's too powerful and you have no escape and you lose that, you have no backup. You lose Skarbrand's army, you lose the campaign. That is essentially it. Now, this kind of playstyle is something that is probably popular with a lot of pro players because of similar attitudes that I have seen in my experience playing on a pro level in World of Warcraft. And different games, but the mentality is the same across all kinds of competition, all kinds of video games, and just games in general. With World of Warcraft, having played in really good guilds with top-tier players from guilds like, say, Method, as an example, personally met some people in that, played in the same guilds, well, I can say that the overriding principle that pro players adopt is achieving the highest level of power in the easiest possible way, but also having to balance that power with what you're giving up. What are the risks? What is the risk-reward of a particular choice? Skarbrand is very risky, inherently. The reward of taking those risks can be significant, but it is a risk, a significant one. It reminds me of a similar situation that exists with World of Warcraft Beta and Classic and Retail, where guilds in their raids, they try and remove as many tanks and healers to maximize their DPS. And even their tanks and healers are maximizing their damage output to the highest possible ability through enchants, gems, and if we're talking about Classic, for instance, Classic Burning Crusade, for instance, and going with as few healers as possible in order to do things as quickly as you possibly can. That's the kind of playstyle that Skarbrand does have. The question is, does that make him one of the best, if not the best, legendary lord in the game? No. Because inherently, while it can work extremely well, and you can beat the campaign very, very quickly, any kind of mistake, even a seemingly minor one, can cost you dearly. For instance, in this particular campaign, I have beaten the campaign in 17 turns, but I did make a mistake, a pretty big one that did slow me down significantly. Early on in this campaign, I attacked the Dragonhorn mines after beating Warzak. Now, there were 2 lords by these mines, and I resolved that using mods. It's not important that I use mods or anything like that, but I resolved it. And because of that resolved situation, the 2 lords, the Greenskin lords that were near the Dragonhorn mines, they were killed. But instead, if I had left them alive, raised the Dragonhorn mines, gone for Ekrund, I could have turned around, go for those lords I had driven off the field if I had left them alive fighting a manual battle, gone for those lords, used them to increase my movement range, because you do gain movement range every time you win a battle, and then gotten more movement range to deal with the Bitter Stone Mine more effectively, and potentially reach the Stone Mine Tower on that same turn, which I was not able to do. And that would have sped up my entire campaign by quite a significant amount. That is that is the inherent risk in playing Skarbrand campaign. If you play it perfectly, if you don't make mistakes, if you make the best decisions possible, you can do it fast. But if you make even a small mistake like that, it will cost you. Or even if I had fought these battles, like, I was not going to lose this battle in the Dragonhorn Mines. I was not going to lose any battle that turn, because I had a full army, and I had just defeated Warzag with minimal casualties. But basically, it was a minor mistake, but it ended up slowing me down by a fairly significant amount in this campaign, which increases actually the long-term risk, because you don't have the tools necessary to deal with long-term risk. You also don't necessarily have the toolkit of units, because you're going to use Bloodletters and Chaos Warriors of Khorne, both of which are the pros and cons. Chaos Warriors of Khorne are the better choice to go for against the vast majority of early game foes, but they lack the damage dealing capabilities of Bloodletters. Bloodletters have the problem in not having the durability, especially compared to masses of range units. Though, given AI recruitment stances, that might not necessarily be a problem. These Bloodhosts here destroyed Kislev and Katrin, but it would have been a very different situation had Katrin actually recruited masses of range units, which she did not. She recruited Kislevite warriors, and she recruited armored Kossars, which ended up costing her, well, everything. So that is the pros and cons. And compared to other campaigns, would I say Skarbrand is the best campaign or one of the top tier ones? No. The reason I would say that is that while he can certainly win the campaign faster than pretty much anyone else, you are inherently taking that risk. And while it can be rewarding, it can also blow up significantly in your face. Consider N'Kari as a counterexample. Let's just go with that. Forget the Empire, Dwarves, Cast Dwarves, all that, the top tier races according to your votes. N'Kari may have a great deal of vulnerability in battle, because N'Kari has poor replenishment, and a lot of the units that Slaanesh has are glass cannon units that take a lot of damage. Combine that, as said, with a poor replenishment, you're in a situation when you're playing a N'Kari campaign where it's very easy to take significant casualties that will obliterate your campaign. But, crucial, significant difference. N'Kari very early on gets a significant safety net in that campaign by being able to vassalize Crix, which you do want to do for the cultists you gain, and then shortly thereafter vassalizing Katik. Within 6, 7, 8, 10 turns, you're vassalizing Elfarian, and within 20 turns, or even faster than that, you're vassalizing all the legendary lords in Ulthuan. Soterian, Alariel, and Elfarian. By that point, you cannot lose the campaign even if you try. Even if you lose every single battle, you will not lose it. That is absolutely not the case in Skarbrand's campaign. You can still vassalize factions for diplomacy, but it's certainly nowhere near the power level that N'Kari has on the campaign side of things. And then the ultimate counterexample to all of this, ignoring how buggy the game has been in this campaign for whatever reason, because it's showing me all these factions, consider the Changeling. A campaign that's universally despised by a significant portion of the player base, but consider the Changeling's power. He is very difficult, if not outright impossible, to defeat in a campaign. The reason is that when you're playing the Changeling, the AI is certainly not capable of dealing with your cults, but even if you're dealing with a human opponent, it is very difficult to deal with that. You need to take all the territories where he might have hidden a cult, and as long as any one of those cults survives, the Changeling can recover. And it's not even a case of, oh, I'll just take a settlement where you might have a cult. No, you need to find a cult, you need to destroy it. You can't just raise settlements. Like with Skarbrand, it's easy enough. You just raise all the settlements, summon Bloodhosts, and then next turn you take those settlements and then you can remove the cults. But if the Changeling avoids fighting you, then good luck finding him. And furthermore, beyond that, the Changeling himself has a significant amount of combat ability through his own Sangors, Forsaken of Siege, Warriors of Chaos at Siege, as well as high damage units. The Changeling can also recruit a bunch of units in multiple armies, numerous armies, and has a significant number of faction effects. But does that make him a good lord? It makes him extremely powerful. It doesn't make him a good lord. He certainly, from a pure power perspective, however, it is easily argued that the Changeling is the most powerful legendary lord in the entire game. Make of that what you will. It's actually, I would argue, an indisputable fact. But then, to a lesser extent, you consider the Empire, you consider the Dwarves, you consider the Cast Dwarves, you consider the Greenskins, Dark Elves, Vampire Counts, races that all pulled better than Skarbrand. All of those races have their pros and cons. Some have powerful lords, some don't have powerful lords, or it's a mixed bag. But what all of the races that did do better in the polling compared to Skarbrand is that particular safety net. Basically, Skarbrand has one particular playstyle, whereas with other races you may have very different playstyles. You don't need to Zerg rush everything if you're playing many other races. You do need to Zerg rush if you're playing Skarbrand. Some would consider this iconic to his lore, and I would not necessarily disagree. I think as an ultimate point, I really do wonder how Creative Assembly is going to handle Khorne, because the inherent benefit, pros, and cons of Skarbrand only apply to him as a Khorne faction. It is not the Khorne race. The Khorne race actually is inherently weak. Certainly, the Khorne race is balanced around Skarbrand, his replenishment and movement range, blood host, poor economy, etc. But the moment you remove Skarbrand from the equation, Khorne certainly loses a lot of its significant power. So the question is, how will Creative Assembly maintain Skarbrand's iconic playstyle while also fitting in other Legendary Lords of Khorne within that racial structure? Maybe certainly very unique compared to that. Some will argue that just replicating the playstyle would work. I mean, what's the point of having another campaign if it's just going to play exactly like Skarbrand, and it's not going to be Skarbrand? Unless we want to get another Bloodthirster, which may not be the case. We could end up with another Changeling situation who has a very unique campaign compared to Kairos, which might just be the best way Creative Assembly could handle that. Or we could see an entire major racial rework for Khorne in order to be able to fit in multiple Legendary Lords of Khorne. I think CA needs to be careful with that. Some will argue that Khorne doesn't need a racial rework. I would dare say very strongly that unless you want to make another Legendary Lord exactly like Skarbrand with campaign movement range after raising settlements, replenishment of foreign territory, which are faction effects, as well as lord effects that replenish a lot of movement, unless you literally want to copy-paste Skarbrand, you do need to make a Khorne rework, or you need to ensure that the new Legendary Lord has their own unique playstyle, as well as different structures, settlements, etc., and so on and so forth. That would be my perspective and my conclusion on all of this. I understand the appeal, but you all know my opinion on Skarbrand. Has it changed in any way? It's not my first rodeo. It has not. The things I believed many months ago are still the things I believe right now. There are pros, there are cons. I understand the appeal. I understand the faction strength, but the risk is very significant. And it doesn't exist for many other races and lords in the game. Costin signing out.